You were talking about Jim Acosta.
No, not Jim Acosta.
You were talking about Jim Acosta.
Nope, incorrect. I was talking about Jim Cotta, which is a 1985 martial arts film starring Olympic gymnast Kurt Thomas.
Ooh, tell me more.
Welcome back to the No Big Banana Podcast. My name is Charles.
My name is Jim Acosta.
Are you ready for this, bro?
Yeah.
Okay, the movie is insane, as you would expect.
In the membrane?
But like, when did The Karate Kid come out?
85? 87?
No, earlier than that. 84.
84.
Okay, so...
Oh, so much earlier than 85. Oh,
no,
my God.
But, no, what
It's
I'm
like Three Ninjas. Oh, my God.
Okay. What I'm trying to tell you is like these certain kind of subgenres
from
like
the
horror.
20s. What?
A movie will come out and do well, and then there'll be at least a couple of clones of it.
Oh, of course,
if not
yeah.
a bunch. And
That's
so
how
like,
Hollywood works.
after Karate Kid became so popular, there was a few years after that where there were some weird fucking martial arts movies made. One of them, notably, that we've done We Watch Bad Stuff to, The Showdown with Billy Blanks.
Never heard of it.
Do you remember Billy Blanks?
No.
Tybo?
Oh, my
the
God.
Tybo guy?
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah, so he was in a martial
Remember when
arts
Tybo
movie.
was a thing? My God.
He played a janitor.
God, that feels like an eternity ago.
Yeah, he played a janitor in a high school, and he like trains this kid to like kick the bully's ass.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
But anyway, Jim Cotta. Okay, this is the plot. Jonathan Cabot is approached by the Special Intelligence Agency,
of course,
the SIA, to play the game. The game is an athletic competition in the fictional country of Parmistan. A tiny mountain nation which is supposedly located in the Hindu Kush mountain range.
They must have been on some Kush, am I right?
Yeah. It's really weird.
I believe it. It already sounds very strange with a name like Jim Acosta. It's got to be good.
And he was a gymnast. That's the weirder thing.
If it's with a name like Smuckers, it has to be good. Like, who the fuck decided that?
I don't know. Is that their slogan?
Yeah, I think it was at one point, wasn't it?
I don't know, dude. Slogans are weird as shit.
They're really weird.
They're very strange. Not as strange as like a gymnast being in a martial arts. And oh my God, he only lived to be 64. That guy.
That's what happens when you do Tybo.
Oh, that guy died this year.
Did he really?
Oh my God, did he die of COVID? Oh no, he had a stroke.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Winter. And stroke.
So Halloween's coming up.
It is, yeah.
I'm excited. Halloween's coming up. It's a very scary time.
I've been watching a bunch of horror movies.
Yeah, I know. I want to watch more. I wish that there were a place where I could watch Train to Busan.
Train to Busan?
Do you know where I could watch that?
I don't even know what that movie is.
It's a zombie movie. It's a Korean film.
Ooh.
And Bobby
Maybe
Lee,
if you used ExpressVPN.
No, but well, yeah, that's actually true. And I have it too. I should.
You need to hook me up with some ExpressVPN because I'm gonna need some like Japanese Netflix.
No, I don't.
They've got Yu Yu Hakusho and I want it.
Oh my God!
I can get that on Crunchyroll. It's fine.
Yeah, we have everything on. Oh, okay. So let's talk about anime now that you brought it up because now I want to.
Sure.
So what did I watch?
No,
I watched the last episode or the third episode of Burn the Witch.
Yeah. Now you understand why I was like, forget what I said about Cinderella.
I'm kind of getting a Gargoyles vibe off of the guy with the blue dragon.
The guy with the blue. Oh,
doesn't that feel like Gargoyles? Remember the Gargoyles?
Like the animation?
Yeah.
With all the members of Star Trek: The Next Generation in it.
Yeah.
Just super strange.
I don't know. For some reason, I'm getting like it just reminds me of the main gargoyle and then
yes,
the blue
Gargoyle.
one. I forget their names.
I don't fucking know or
It's
care.
been 25 years, okay? I'm sorry.
What I don't understand is, like, why is Burn the Witch, like, there's been 3 episodes out now for, like, 2 weeks? 3 weeks? And
Yeah.
nothing. And I'm like, what? You're not, like, you can't just, like, start and then, like, expect me to not want to finish. Like,
There's been a gap between?
yeah, because I've been checking, like, every week.
Oh, there's only those 3?
There's only those 3.
Well,
It says it's a simulcast. But
I'm not more upset. That's not too upsetting. It would be
it's just
upsetting
frustrating
if it
because
were...
like they're right now as fall 2020 is going on, like anime wise. Like I have Jujutsu Kaisen, I have obviously One Piece, which will never end, and I'm thankful for. Burn the Witch was like one of the only other ones that was like decent. Like the newest season of like Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon 3 not feeling it.
Yeah.
It's not that great. Second season was trash. Third season, not much better.
I started Nobilis.
I did as well. That one's not bad.
I like it.
That one's not bad.
You know what,
it was one of the first, like, I will say though, like the first episode, I was like, all right, you're throwing a lot of shit at me right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the fuck you're doing, so I'm gonna take it as disrespect. Watch your fucking mouth, Nobilis.
Well, I think I agree with that.
But then it got
assertion
better,
of the first episode, but I think that they did in the second one slow it down a little bit in terms of information that was coming in.
I mean, of course, there's a school, but
kind of allow you to catch up with this idea that, like, okay, so
Yeah.
we don't know where they're from, but we know that they're not from here,
Right.
and that they're this like awakened race, and you get to know a little bit more of the lore in the second episode. I thought that the fight scene in the second episode was really fucking cool.
Is that the one where the guys show up to the school? And
That was in the first one, which that was dope. That was when M23, M21.
Whichever one he is, he just
I think it's M21.
Shuts him down.
So he's the modified human,
Right.
Which is different from Rye and Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Though they're like nobles.
I think I need to watch the second episode again because, like, I don't think I've seen the second one again then, because I thought the second one had to do with after the guy that shows up at the mansion or whatever at the school.
Yeah.
The guy's house or whatever takes on the role of being like a protector for the school, and that's when you meet the red-haired kid with the cast on his arm, and everyone draws like penises and stuff on it.
That's in the first
That's
one.
all in the first episode. Okay, yeah. Then I don't remember the second episode.
It is a
yet.
lot. There's a lot of informational overload in the
Which
second
is okay
one,
though. I don't mind. Like, I would rather it be like dense, kind of like God of
Yeah.
High School. Like, I enjoyed the fact that it was a very dense experience. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna go out there and say like, "Oh my God, the character development in God of High School is so good."
I still don't understand what the fuck that whole episode about with the girl getting married was.
Yeah.
It feels like totally
Yeah.
totally out of place.
Episode 4 might as well not have had it.
Yeah, very strange.
but
And then
like-
Misfit of Demon King Academy almost makes me feel like cheap. I really liked it, and then it just felt kind of
Dude, the last episode,
like okay, here's the end, and it's like what?
You yeah,
you
it's
could do so much more with this.
yeah,
What
yeah.
are you doing?
It's like you got me right up to the edge, and then we're like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I'm not finished yet. And like, what are you doing?
Yeah, ReZero too is like, you motherfuckers can't.
Yeah,
stop.
it just popped off.
You
like,
can't stop like that though. You gotta,
Yeah.
you gotta at least get me to
back
like,
here.
get me to a better, a stopping place with more breathing room.
Well, I
But-
mean, they're coming back in January,
okay, that's good.
so it's just like a mid-season finale. So we're getting another 13 episodes, I think.
I feel like Burn the Witch
goal.
is like A tier, B tier, but like Jujutsu Kaisen is S tier.
Oh,
and I
it's
haven't
fantastic.
even seen the third episode yet, but like the animation is really cool, and like
You'll really like the girl that shows up in the third episode. I'm not going to talk about
I did
like.
see her. She's on the train.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about much like about her personality or anything like that, but like she has like a hammer with nails. And so like she uses like puts curse into nails and shit, and so like she'll hammer nails into things, and it's
that's
badass.
dope.
She's badass. I think they call her like the girl of steel or something like that as like the name of the
That's
episode.
cool.
She's a badass.
Yeah,
She really subverts your expectations of who you think she's going to be when you see her on the train.
What is the main character's name? Itori.
Something like that, yeah.
I like him.
The pink-haired dude with
I like
the eyes.
I like the stoicism of him. Like the.
Oh, you're talking about the blue-haired guy.
Is that a word? How stoic he is. No, the pink-haired guy, the main guy.
He's not very stoic. He's just
I
kind of
think
like
he is. Like in
he
terms of
he reminds
like,
me more of like a Luffy, like an aloof kind of character.
he is aloof, but he has like Luffy. I feel like is like more of like a surprising strong, where this guy is more of like a stoic strong. He's stalwart.
strong. He knows he's strong.
He just like
There's even a
like he just
Yeah.
subdued this demon in him.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's just like, okay, was that a like to your point when you said earlier about the guy that was like, yeah, just 10 seconds.
yeah
When he comes back, it was just really funny because he's just like, oh, was that okay?
yeah everything
It's
okay.
like,
Yeah.
This dude just like grabbed like, hey, demon, you can hang out
you got
for a
10
few
seconds.
seconds, but
Yeah.
then I'm back.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think and this might be just from the third episode, but like in the third episode, I think you get to see at least how the dynamic of the trio is going to start playing out, because they
Yeah.
definitely like immediate, like I'm talking like immediate. It's like God of High School level of like, okay, they're all friends now. They all have their role in the shonen categorization. They all have their part to play.
Yeah.
it comes across very like organic. It's like they just met, but they've already like become comfortable around each other. So there's really almost no like awkward. There's like awkward for like 3 seconds, and then it's fine.
Well, there's just I think that the anime does that. It's a smart thing that anime does in all kinds of different shows. Is that it's because they have a common understanding with one amongst each other that is uncommon to the general populace. So like most people don't even know that curses. Yeah. Most people don't even know, because I was just talking to my mom about this recently. Like, that's how cults work. Mm-hmm. That's how like the like this crazy guy on the HBO special, The Vow, we've been watching, and like honestly, Trump is this way. Like when you get into this mindset of like, well, no one else understands me, but this person says that they do.
Right.
And then the other people also couldn't find comfort elsewhere. They found it with this person. So there creates a bond.
You feel like you've connected to something special, like flat earthers.
Yeah.
It's like I'm dialed into something special that not everyone's allowed to be a part of.
Well, a lot of conservatives, I think, are that way in general. Every time I talk to a conservative, it's like they're telling me a secret. It's like, hey man,
by the way,
listen.
By the way, Second Amendment,
looking out for you. Didn't know if you knew this,
didn't know if you saw them.
China is attempting to take over the United States through hairpins. Yeah. So if your wife or daughter buys hairpins and they are shipped, now here's the thing: it says that they're shipped from Des Moines, Iowa, but if you look at the manufacturer website, and it's like, dude,
I had a lady ask me like, "Do you know of any coils that are made in America?" And I was like, no, it doesn't happen. You can thank
capitalism for it. You really can, because this is just what it is that it's the laissez-faire free market idea that is just it's gone off track.
Yeah.
And even Republicans will admit that they scream about it all the time about how Apple and Twitter and YouTube have too much power, and it's like,
I do think it's funny that
what
like
happens.
You have people on the right who like pride themselves in being like facts over feelings. Like, facts don't care about your feelings. Drink this cup that says liberal tears on it.
Right.
And yet they're the ones who whine and bitch more than any other group I have ever seen in my fucking life.
It's true.
Like, Donald Trump is the biggest crybaby.
Yeah.
Grow the fuck up, man. No one cares if John Bolton's been mean to you, dog.
I was also thinking today,
you don't need to go on a tirade of 76 tweets in one day about Obama. Like, we get it.
Yeah.
He's got a bigger penis than you. It's okay.
It's just strange that, like, what the people think he is the opposite of what he is, in the sense of what you would typically see from that fan base, that support base.
Right.
So, like, most
make liberals cry again, and it's like, the only people that are crying are conservatives.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to slant conservatives. I'm just pointing out that, like, most conservatives that I know, for example, most conservatives that I know don't have a lot of respect for the uber wealthy, because they understand that, like, a lot of times they step on the neck of the working man to get there.
Yeah, you got to be a sociopath to make it up the ladder.
Now, there's a respect that they have for entrepreneurs, but they hate
Sociopath?
like the really, really, really rich.
Yeah.
Like the super elites.
But not as much as they hate the fucking poor.
And they also hate celebrities.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking, not only is Donald Trump like super rich, quote unquote,
and a celebrity,
but he's a celebrity.
$410 billion in debt.
And then I was thinking, like, well, Joe Biden's net worth is $9 million. Joe Rogan's is 100.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't understand this argument.
It was like when they were saying, like, he's a blue collar billionaire, and I was like, that doesn't exist.
Right. It's not a thing.
That's not a thing. That's an oxymoron.
Yeah. Well, because nothing makes
nothing makes monkey like money.
Nothing makes
money makes monkey. Monkey makes money.
Monkey money.
Monkey money.
Nothing.
Now we have a title for the episode.
Nothing makes more money than money.
Monkeys. Yeah.
Listen, damn it. Nothing makes more money than money.
Monkeys. Yeah.
So you reach a place where
you're just throwing shit at each other.
No. You're investing in stocks.
Yeah.
You have, like,
just throwing your shit around.
Bro, if you had $1 million, you could throw that fucker in a bank account and you would earn $100,000 a year on it.
Yeah, you could live off of it. Yeah, you could just live off the interest.
So what I mean is, like, there's like this mountain that we all climb in this country under this idea of work hard and get paid for your worth and know your value, etc. Right. But once you get over a certain level, Like obviously Trump is, because
Bezos.
how could it be said that your net worth is $2.5 billion when you owe like $400 million to like Russia or whoever the fuck he owes that money to?
If you think about it, like most Americans probably have more money than Donald Trump.
Probably.
Yeah, well, because I mean, also like to your point about like letting money accrue interest and living off of that interest. If Donald Trump had just put his inheritance in a bank account, he'd be better off today than he would have been doing all this bullshit.
Oh yeah, somebody did that math, didn't they?
Yeah, he literally like has lost more money than he would have gained if he had just put the money in a fucking bank. It's like, not the best businessman, are you?
You know, speaking of all of that,
I mean, they say it in The Art of the Deal, not that he wrote it, but
speaking of like income equality or inequality rather, I don't want to come across as somebody who believes that like people should just like get money for free. But I just feel like a lot of conservatives that are anti-socialist programs are such because they think that, I don't know if it's because that they think that people would ask for too much.
I think it's a matter of, and I genuinely think this, I think it comes from a place of not wanting to allow somebody else to have something that it feels like it's a slight against the work that they've put in. Right. So it's almost like, how dare you?
It's insulting.
Yeah. And even though it's like, well, no, I mean, the person that works at McDonald's probably deals with more shit in a day than you do.
Yeah.
They deserve a living wage for that shit.
Well, I also think that it's a grass is greener type thing. I think that like, unless you've done that job,
right,
you don't get it.
Well, and like, and that, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not like a Marxist, like a neo-Marxist or any of that shit.
No,
but like, I do believe in democratic socialism. Like, there are basic levels of all of my political ideas, all of my leanings, whatever I come to the consensus on of what I think like should be policy, however few and short-minded they are, because I'm not very intelligent in this regard. Whatever's going to be the best net benefit for the most amount of people, I think is typically where I lean.
Well,
right?
For sure.
You'd say that, but most Americans don't think that.
Well, no, I know. I agree with that. I think that most people err on the side of and lean to the side of what's best for them.
Right.
And what's best for their families.
But like for me, it's like, everybody, like, we are one of the wealthiest countries in the world, yet most people don't like. And like they did that report or whatever, it's like most Americans have less than $400 in their bank account. Like 40% of Americans have less than $400 in savings.
Yeah.
And it's like that's also not taking into consideration how many people have like $401 to $500, which still isn't fucking much.
I was up at a gas station recently, and I was getting a pop out of the fountain, and somebody's ATM receipt was on the thing, like they had just left it there.
Right.
And I'm always curious and into people's shit. So I'm like, oh, what is it? And I looked and I saw like, current balance $143. And I was just thinking like, fuck, man.
That's pretty standard.
How many of us are walking around like that?
Yeah.
Like, they've done those studies that show that like
most Americans ain't got shit.
Nobody has like a grand
so it's
in
like
their
the
bank
fact
account.
the fact that like if you were to like I don't think that it's fair that the majority of people, if they broke their arm, their first response wouldn't be like, I need to get this fixed. It would be, fuck, I can't afford this.
Right.
That's a telling example of like where we are as a society. Like, not only do we have like some of the wealthiest people in the world, we also have the largest wealth income, like inequality as well. Like, for the most part, like if you're born poor, you're gonna stay poor.
Pretty much.
If you're born rich, you're going to stay rich. And there's not really much fixing that. So it's like the fact that there's such a divide in the way that like, people accrue wealth in this country, and the way that like we prioritize things in this country. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it feels like there's a lot of things, like even with Bernie, like people are like, oh, socialized healthcare. Like, what a fucking scam. What a scam. What a sham. That was those two words put together. That's what I fucked up earlier. I don't know if you caught that, but like, and then the pandemic hit, and people were like, it'd be kind of nice right now, some socialized healthcare. It was the same with Yang, like universal basic income. Fuck you, work for it.
Yeah.
I could really go for like $1,500 right now.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that post that's like, people are always like, oh, healthcare, how are we going to pay for it? And it's like, with the taxes I already pay, fucko.
Yeah.
Stop using my money to make kids into Pakistan skeletons.
Right.
And give me some fucking healthcare.
Oh, dude, it's insane the amount of money we spend.
It's the same thing with
just
college.
On militarizing our police.
It's the same thing with college, man.
Absolutely.
We could easily afford to stay the world's superpower from a military standpoint. Honestly, a lot of it is about allocation. See, this is one of the
100%.
things, too, that I'll like get into arguments with people on both sides about, because the liberals are like, no, we need to raise the taxes. And it's like,
no, we just need to reallocate them.
The conservatives will be like, oh, well, we're already paying too much. And it's like, we're not paying too much, and we don't need to pay more.
Yeah, it's Goldilocks.
We need
it's
to
just
fucking
right.
move the money that we're already sending around.
Yeah.
We need to stop sending 19-year-old college kids checks for $4,000. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
That kid's going to go get drunk.
Yeah.
They're not going to use that shit to buy books.
Do you know how many like fucking...
They're going to go on halfoff.com and
Yeah.
fucking rent a textbook for $12.
Yeah, or they're just going to pirate the PDF of it.
Yeah, pretty much. So what are you doing? Stop doing that and use that money to send it directly to cover their tuition.
You know, and it's the same with like, and I agree with you in the sense of like reallocation of funds, because like even like when people are saying like defund the police, and they're like, oh, what are you gonna do when fucking someone robs your house? It's like nobody's saying. Well, I mean, most people aren't saying just abolish police.
Right.
That's not the idea. The idea is to reallocate resources into society so that police aren't needed as much.
Well, liberals have a marketing issue.
Yeah, it's a matter of like
they always name the thing wrong.
But it's not. But I also don't think it's incumbent on the people who are trying to send the message to package it correctly for other people to understand. You know what I mean? Like,
of course it is.
I don't know. I feel like if you're not willing to sit down and actually have an honest discourse about the conversation, like if we're not able to actually sit down and have a conversation about it, however I project it to you, if you're shut off, then it's not going to matter how I say it.
True, but you have to admit that, like, if I had a group called Nazis Are Cool,
well, but I mean, like,
and hold on, and the group was about how we have to stop the people.
We got to put them on ice.
We have to stop the people that think that's true.
Sure.
So our group is called Nazis Are Cool, ironically, so that we can stop other Nazis. You would be like, that's dumb. Why would you do that? And it's the same thing.
Yeah, but I would still ask, why would you do that?
And
I would still be willing to talk to you about it. I'd be like, why the fuck are you in a group called Nazis Are Cool? And you'd be like, well, listen, it's ironic. The whole point is actually this. But most people are going to be like, fuck you.
Right.
And not listen.
Right.
Regardless.
Because it's called Nazis Are Cool.
If you put the word Nazi in it,
defund the police is horribly named.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you.
They should have called it.
I'm just saying, like, to an extent, I feel like
reform the police.
Even that wouldn't get through.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I do.
How do you know that?
Because have you seen the discourse of politics in America right now? You say the word police, and they'd be like, "Fuck you! You're trying to get rid of a margin, you goddamn liberal cuck."
It is pretty crazy.
They wouldn't. They like that's what I'm saying. It's like it doesn't matter how they set it up.
Well, it depends, because there are people who are conservative minded.
It's like saying it's like anytime somebody with a D next to their name says anything about guns, it doesn't matter what the fuck they say. That Democrat's going to try to take my guns.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Even Obama, like literally, Trump is the only one who has said on record, like, just take the guns first and then due process later.
It is weird that
and Obama was like, no one's trying to actually get rid of your guns. We just want to talk about legislation of brown guns.
It is weird that they claimed that Clinton would do that, and they claimed that Obama would do that. And it's like, if anything, it's gotten easier to get a gun over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So like, what is this legislation that these horrible leftist Democrats have put into play? Hey, maybe there is some that I don't know about, and I'm just sounding stupid.
Deep state.
Anybody that knows, tell me.
QAnon.
Feel free. But honestly, it seems to me that overall, it's gotten easier to get. I should say this: it's gotten easier for law-abiding citizens to get guns.
Yeah. Well, then people are talking about like, oh, they're fucking bringing guns over the border. It's like, why the fuck would you need to bring a gun from over the border into this country?
Yeah.
We've already got enough guns to like give to every single person 3 times over. Like,
I don't know though if we make a lot of guns here though.
But we have a lot of them. Like, there's no reason to smuggle guns in. Like, you can already just like
go to Walmart and get one.
Yeah. It's not like it's hard, man. Like,
yeah, it's true.
It's really not a difficult process. As long as you're an American citizen, you're over the age of 18, you can fucking get a gun.
We were just watching.
As long as you're not like on a watch list or something.
We were just watching this 2020 about this woman who killed her husband.
Dun dun.
Well, she went and bought a gun they lived in New Jersey, and she went across the state lines to Pennsylvania to get a gun because it was like way easier. It was only like you could go in and you could walk in and walk out. Right. With a weapon in Pennsylvania. And I was just thinking, like,
it's silly, man. Like, you can
buy, where are all of these liberals that are taking the guns? Because,
well, like, I think it's even like in California, it's like you can buy a gun, but you can't buy like mass amounts of ammunition, or the ammunition is extremely high taxed. So it's illegal to go buy ammunition a state over where it's not taxed in the same way and just bring it back. It's like, nobody's fucking listening to that rule.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking cares. Like, you're still gonna do it if you're really like invested and interested in like getting ammunition for your gun. Like, you're gonna get ammunition for your gun. It's not that hard.
Yeah, that's true.
You can find it. Like,
Yeah.
you can get it. It's not like it's.
Oh, dude, you could fucking order explosive shit online.
Dude,
You
I know
could
a
just
guy.
have
I know a
shit
guy.
shipped to your house from
not
Amazon that
kidding.
explodes.
I know a guy that like there's like a particular like subset of LSD that's like legal in Canada. So he just bought that and got it shipped here and then just put it in his freezer. Like, I went over to his house and I opened up his freezer and it was just full of these vials and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And he's like, "Oh, it's LSD." I mean, he's like, it's not technically LSD, but it's LSD.
I did see this
It's
meme.
like, you can just like, he didn't even have to like put in an ID. It just showed up at his house.
Yeah, I did see this meme that was like that Bill Gates like, all right, I've got to figure out a way to track everybody, and then their assistant. It's like a conversation between him and his assistant.
Right.
The assistant's like, yeah, everybody has a phone.
Yeah.
And he's like, now, if only we could come up with a vaccine that could track people. And the attendant is like, the assistant's like, yeah, they all have GPS.
Yeah.
Like, I think that
You also have the facial recognition.
yeah. That's
And
what's so
voice.
bizarre that it's like, hold on.
And thumbprint.
You have a device that is on you at all. Hold on. First of all, let's start with the fact that you have a number.
Yeah.
All of these people that
Isn't
are
that like in the Bible? Like,
they're gonna make me put on a mask. Then this is tyranny, and it's like you have a number.
Yeah.
As a citizen,
Isn't like Big Shock not very religious?
that is shocking.
Sorry, but isn't that like one of the markings of like the end of times is like or some shit like
Well, people have argued that the mark of the beast people will wear the mark of the beast on their forehead.
yeah,
And that's the MAGA hat thing.
yeah. Well,
like-
I mean, I just meant in general, like with the government being able to track you and shit. Like,
Yeah.
listen, man. Like, also, you don't know what kind. Like, okay, our entire thing about being the best military in the world is not just like the number of guns or whatever. It's the fact that we have advanced technologies that other people don't have yet.
Yeah.
And the government obviously curbs what citizens and what other like they don't. It's not like they're going to be like, yeah, we got this teleporter.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But like
There's a
when they have
hella
when they
secrets.
have like a better version of the teleporter, they're like, yeah, you can have this small teleporter for like your pets and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's the same with like DARPA. It's like if that's what they're willing to show you,
Oh, I know.
you're fucked. If Boston Dynamics doesn't have like a smart car that will drive
that's
a nuclear
why-
warhead underwater,
That's why I'm liable to believe Bob Lazar's story.
Bob Lazar.
You know, the alien
Bob
guy,
Lazar. Oh well, I mean, like, and I think like
the Area 51. He worked at S4.
personally,
and
like,
shit.
I think that like it is more likely that the answer to like unidentified spacecraft is just advanced technology that the government is testing.
Yeah, but no, because
It
sometimes
makes more sense to me that like, okay, like, you know, because they're talking about like, oh, in the 70s or whatever, like it moved in patterns that planes can't do, and it's like, yeah, well, drones can do that.
Yeah, I think that it's twofold. I think that there are projects that the military is working on in secret that regular
What's on the
citizens
backside?
don't know about.
What's on the dark? What's your favorite conspiracy theory?
And then I also think, I don't know. That's tough.
What's the most outlandish one that you think that
The one that I think is the craziest?
lizard people probably?
No.
Meh.
No.
That was like one of my favorite bits.
Interdimensional child molesters.
That's one of my favorite bits from Game Grumps of all time. Is like they're playing like Zelda 2 and like a lizard man.
Oh,
And everyone's like-
reptilians.
He's like, man, the Jews did 9/11. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dan's like, Aaron, fuck, man.
You know what's interesting about 9/11 is like how much of that shit has just been verified and now people just accept as truth. You know, 20 years ago it was like,
Oh yeah, dude.
you were a tinfoil hat guy.
Jet
if you
fuel
were
can't
saying
melt
that.
steel beams. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on Reddit, not Reddit,
I don't
fuck
know,
4chan
man.
at that
the,
time.
the interdimensional child molesters
That's a weird one. I
is
haven't
up
heard that
there.
one.
Oh yeah.
I think my favorite one is that the dark side of the moon is actually like a shell, and it's actually like an alien like watching spot or whatever. Like it's like actually like a antenna or whatever, some shit.
I feel like a lot of
moon-based kind of thing.
the trouble with conspiracies.
That's one of my
and
favorite episodes of the
and the
original series of Star Trek.
appealing thing about conspiracies is that there is some truth, I think, to all of them except flat Earth.
Yeah,
but
fuck you if you think the Earth is flat.
But like,
Get
for
fucked.
example, like the JFK assassination.
Oh, sure,
Like,
yeah.
It's not clear.
fun.
It's not
It's fun.
It's not a clear cut conspiracy. Like,
Well, because you could also kind of make the argument that like there are some times when a martyr is needed. You know.
Yeah.
So like even like with MLK, it's like, well, you know, like his word did reach generations, and it might not have had the same what.
The craziest one is that John F. Kennedy Jr. is still alive and is going to be Trump's vice president.
Oh my god, is that really a thing?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I don't know why I'm surprised.
You know, they say that he died in a plane crash, but we of course know that that's not true.
Oh, for sure.
And they've kept him in hiding.
Yeah, with Tupac.
And we've been waiting. So what's going to happen is that John F. Kennedy Jr. is going to be the vice president with Trump.
Yeah. Pence is just going to remove his outer shell.
Yeah. Well, Pence will probably be, you know, he'll probably like disappear.
His eyelids will close like vertically.
Disappear back to his planet. Can I just say that he looked like a serial killer in that debate?
He always looks like a serial killer. I did
say that already. Also, is it weird that we've all just collectively accepted that there's only going to be 2 debates?
Yeah, well, I mean, actually, I thought it was funny. I was like, between the 2 town halls, which, by the way, listen, man, I'm not a fan of Biden by any stretch of the imagination. I fucking hate both parties.
Yeah.
I think you know me pretty well by this point. I fucking hate both of them.
Yeah, well, the American people have been disenfranchised by both of them for long enough.
Oh, for sure. But, like, the 2 town halls, right?
Yeah.
I kind of like jumped back and forth between the 2 of them because they were happening simultaneously because, of course, Trump wanted them to happen simultaneously so he could knock them out in the ratings. Even though Biden on one network amassed more viewership than Trump did, syndicated on 3 different networks. So that was kind of funny. Like, that's going to stick in his craw because he cares about...
Also, who the fuck watches TV?
Donald Trump.
I mean, yeah, I know, but...
He cares. That's all. Yeah. That's the only reason why I care is because I think it's funny that, like I was watching the Donald Trump debate and there was, like, a part where he was like, I mean, any question that anyone asked him, he just didn't answer. He just went off on a tirade. And then, like, I flipped over to Joe.
None of them do, though. None of them.
Honestly, no. Honestly, man, when you go between the 2 of them, like, when you look at the Donald Trump town hall and then you flip over to Biden's, he at least is, like, talking policy. Whether or not, like, it's a bunch of bullshit or it's, like, you know, he's just kind of, like, the fact that he has, like, some numbers memorized and understands, like, more than, like, faking base level human emotion.
Yeah.
I got more out of 30 seconds from Biden than I got the entire time that Donald Trump was talking.
I will say that it's weird that the woman, and I don't even remember her name, I think she's Trump's new mouthpiece.
Kayleigh McEnany?
Maybe. But somebody compared his town hall to Mr. Rogers.
What the fuck?
As if that were a slight. Like, she tweeted about it in a way that was like, geez, boring. Watching Biden's town hall is like watching Mr. Rogers. And I was like, since when is Mr. Rogers not
That's
cool?
Like saying, like, oh, fuck that. Like, oh, man, what a Bob Ross experience. It's like, people fucking love Bob Ross, dude. What are you fucking talking about?
I know. It is strange. But, you know, we probably do live in a world now where half of the population
we live in a society.
Mr. Rogers sucks.
But what I was getting at with that, though, is like, who the fuck is still undecided? You know what I mean? Like, you've either decided you're not going to vote for either of them, you're going to vote third party.
That is interesting. I do hear that a lot on the news. Like, but these undecided voters, and I'm like, what?
How can you be fucking like? And I will say as well, like, you know, and I don't trust the polls too much, but like the gap is widening over time in the polls for the popular vote.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, if you look at, like, because I've been specifically looking at it as opposed to 2016, right? Because I'm like, where did we go wrong as a country, right? Like, where we got to that point where we had, like, new Hitler and mega cunt as the 2 options, right? And I think it was like 38 to 62 or something. Like, it was like a 3/4 shot. Like, she was about 75% likely to win. At this point, Biden's at like 89% chance to win. It's like a much, no, like, I mean, he's even in popularity, like, he's even kind of like eking out in Florida.
This is the problem. What? You're operating under the assumption that electorates will cast votes that their states do.
Right.
Which, by the way, I've expressed that concern since I was 15, and I found out that there was no law that said that the electorates have to vote for what the popular vote says. And then a couple of them came out and said, well, we might not agree with what our state votes for, so we'll just have to analyze that at the time.
Yeah.
So the stage has been set.
I mean, it was
for electorates to vote against their population. Like 2000. Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's really where it's at. But, like, I am curious to see how he'll he'll fix it this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I just told you.
Well, because like
he's going to have the electorate.
Here's the thing, though. But in 2016, Hillary Clinton was such a shit character. People hated her, and Donald Trump was this underdog. Like he was coming out of left field, speaking the truth, shooting the shit. Like fuck you, fuck this, fuck that, gonna drain the swamp and shit. He's now the incumbent. Hillary was seen as the incumbent because she was in politics at the time, and Donald Trump was not.
Right.
This time, Donald Trump is the incumbent, and Biden's the one that's like, hey man, maybe we should like kind of take this shit seriously for a second and kind of like calm down a little bit. And a lot of people are like, well, it's not my first choice, but it's better than that annoying fucking sponge that's been yelling at me for 4 years.
Well, I feel like the people were so
disenfranchised
and angry.
Yeah.
That they put him there in the first place. And I do think that maybe
I just feel like
some
it's
of
not
those
the
people
same.
have
It's definitely still like a considerable factor to put into play, but I think that just given the set of circumstances that are surrounding this election in particular, I think that it's more likely that he won't be able to make that Hail Mary like last ditch, like I don't know sport, but like run into the end zone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that perfect catch. Like I don't know if he's gonna be able to do it this time. He'll cheat his way out of it. I don't think he's gonna leave office.
That's what I'm
either way.
saying. Like,
but like
I don't think that. I think that the election is a farce. And by the way, I think that the election will be decided a couple of days before the election when what's her face gets sworn in as a Supreme Court justice, because what'll happen is probably in this order, she'll get sworn in, the election will happen, Biden will win probably handedly.
Yeah.
All of these electorates will pop up talking about how they don't trust their votes of their state. They're going to have to recount everything.
Well, at least in the swing states, or at least the ones that Donald Trump has got.
We won't get the official results until probably after Christmas. And by that point, it'll just be like, well, Trump wins. And then he'll stay in office. And then next year, early next spring, people will probably address it legally as to whether or not it could have been done. And it'll go to the Supreme Court and they'll rule in favor of Trump.
Yeah.
And then once he knows that happens, then will he bring up the next amendment to the Constitution that says that a president can serve more than 2 terms.
Yeah.
It's just it's all lining up in such a way that I don't see it going any other way. I don't see a world where
the only way it would have to be such a massive blowout that like because the country's already like at unrest, like we're already kind of on the precipice, dog. Like I don't know, like the idea of like if fucking like a couple of police killings brought like some of the worst riots and massive protests that we've seen in like quite some time, a couple decades. I can only imagine how angry and radicalized everyone will be. And then at that point, it's just a matter of like mowing down the competition. And then at that point, or opposition, and then at that point, it's just going to devolve into chaos into another civil war.
Well, he's already laid the foundation for the normalization of executing these people.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what the marshals did with that guy.
Yeah.
And he talked.
You don't even have to be a part of a militia.
He talked so candidly about it. He was like, oh, that was over in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, man, that's a human life. Like, granted, that guy may have deserved even to be executed under the law.
Sure.
But everyone deserves a free trial. That's what this whole fucking thing is about.
That's what
right?
America is.
If you fuck up, you are owed a trial.
Yeah.
That's one of your basic rights as a citizen. You're also guaranteed a right to vote, which in states like Tennessee, they're starting to take away from people at the police discretion, by the way, which that's wonderful news considering how well police discretion has gotten us so far.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's like you can't seize people's right to vote.
Sure you can.
Because they protest.
Yeah. Well, how about this? How about you write the legislation for it? We'll get it passed in the House, and then we'll just let it sit on McConnell's desk for like 60 years.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, hey, listen, the other thing to consider is that Trump just wins, right? Like those are really, in my mind,
that is an option.
In my mind, the only 2 possibilities are the one that I mentioned before, where Biden wins, and then that's all reversed, or Trump just genuinely wins. Because I still believe that there are less people that have converted than you think. I think that that is a smaller population.
I don't think people have converted. I think that people who were not.
I would be surprised if more than 5% of the people that voted for him last time don't vote for him this time.
No, I've never tried to make that claim. If it sounded like that, then I'm wrong. what I was trying to get across was that I think more people on the left who were like, oh, it's a slam dunk. I hate Hillary. Oh, she's going to win anyway.
That didn't vote?
Yeah. Those
or
people
voted
will
third
vote.
party?
Yeah, those people will vote.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's where my money's at. I think that it is much more likely that people who were not going to vote for Hillary. I would like 1 week of just like,
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. 1 week where there's not like a Twitter tirade, a fucking controversy.
Well, not just from him, from the universe in general, right? Yeah. Like this year has just been like, feels like a decade.
And Biden's like Biden kind of reminds me of like a creepy uncle who's like, you're not supposed to sit on his lap, but he asks you to sit on his lap.
Right. Like you're not supposed to go. You're not supposed to like close the door when he's in your room, but like
he's not actually gonna like fuck you, but he's gonna smell your hair a lot.
Yeah,
like he'll say something creepy about the way you look in those yoga pants. You know,
it's just what it is too. Like I think more than anything, it's if I were a registered Democrat in this country, or if I were someone
this podcast brought to you by Cialis,
or if I was somebody who historically voted Democrat. Like, let's say I'm like a 60-year-old woman, and for the last like 5 presidents, I've voted Democrat.
Sure.
I would be embarrassed that Biden is the best that my party can give me to vote for.
Well, he's not the best. He's just the safest. And even that, I think, is wrong. But I think that's
I think Pete was the safest. And you notice, by the way, how fast they got rid of him and Bernie with that scandalous shit at the beginning of the primaries?
Not only that, but just like in general, like, don't get me wrong, like I think the majority of the reason why Bernie was not the winner is because he couldn't rustle up the votes. Like his base is loud, but it's not that many of them. Like the majority of Democrats are like conservative light. That's why they like Biden. That's why they like Buttigieg. I think in 2016, he kind of meh. In 2020, it's kind of been like he put himself too far out, like with the wrong people around him. That kind of like sparked enough problems where it was like he's too far gone. He's not a safe bet. We have to be safe because we fucked up last time.
Why do you think that they were afraid of Kamala? The police record shit?
I don't know. Because she's a woman of color.
Yeah. That's true. Also, interestingly,
look what happened when we had Barack Obama for 2 terms.
Yeah,
the rubber band effect swung over to fucking Trump of all people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
well, my mom said to me that she thinks that she thinks the fact that Joe Biden is a man is helpful for him.
Oh yeah,
because my mom said to me that if Hillary. Mom said my mom said if Hillary had been any other woman, she would have voted for her probably just because she was a woman.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, but Hillary Clinton was just a detestable human being. Yeah,
exactly. So, but she said that, you know, there are a lot of people who voted against her because she was a woman, which is something to consider.
That is something to consider. There's even a lot of women who are like, the president's a man's job. And then I love that the response is like, well, you know, like, I mean, a woman, you know, that time of the month, she could just start a war. And it's like, historically, pretty much all wars have been started by men.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much all conflicts. It's the same with, like...
I mean, except for, like, Troy.
It's the same with... Well, yeah, but, like, it's the same with, like, Jordan Peterson. Like, oh, I don't know what to do with a woman. Like, if, like, there's a woman aggressor, I'm not allowed to do anything. And it's like, yeah, but, like, 96% of murders in America happen by men. Like,
it is really annoying.
Got much to worry about.
That is really annoying when people act like they don't know where the line is.
It's like,
and listen, as a creator, I will attest to the fact that there is a little bit of reservation that you have as an artist in today's day and age about, you know, whether or not people would find that too edgy or find it offensive.
Oh, for sure.
But when it's stuff like
I said cunt earlier. That's got me worried.
When it's stuff like sexual assault, you know what sexual assault is. Like this idea of like, oh, am I allowed to talk to you? And it's like, has anybody ever complained about being talked to?
Yeah. Well, if you're talking to them in a particular way, then they'll complain about it. But like, you know, when you're fucking talking to someone in a weird way.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I mean. Like, and that, I think that all stems back to like one of my, you know, what my idea is that I think one of our biggest issues is that people don't take personal responsibility for stuff. And you know, Trump is the fucking poster boy for that.
Oh my god,
it's literally everyone's.
Man,
you know, the reason that his list of enemies is so long is because every time he has to come up with a new one that's not him.
Right. Well, and then
so like, it's like China, the WHO, the CDC, Fauci,
fucking NSYNC.
Yeah,
the
Nancy
Backstreet
Pelosi,
Boys,
Adam Schiff, like literally anyone that isn't him.
Yeah,
is the one.
Well,
that's
the thing too that I think is funny. Like, you know, he's known as he was supposed to be the deal maker. And it's like, well, you haven't really made any deals since you got in the presidency.
Yeah.
You've gotten out of a bunch of deals.
Yeah, I mean, he's really, a lot of these places
and then
in the
he's
Midwest
like, well, we're going to
hurt.
hire the best people, just the best people. And yet the laundry list of people who have been like evicted from the White House in a way that's like, oh, they're just terrible people. It's like, well, then maybe you have a bad eye for people.
No, well, the problem with it is that he's not basing them on their personal, like, he's not basing them on their merit as far as leading the country. He's basing his, you know, if he likes them or not.
Well, if they like him or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is...
How loyal are you?
It's the same thing.
Are you willing to die for me?
Yeah. Dude, my mom was reading
cult of personality.
My mom was reading the Cohen book, and she was saying that, like, there was just so much weird stuff in there, and like he was there for like the whole ride, and he just, the kind of stories that he tells about like the way that he behaves, and it's like, it's very obvious to me that if I went to the White House and was like, hey man, I love what you're doing, he would love me.
Yeah, wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't matter, like, and that's what's so interesting about like the idea of like whether or not he's racist, because it's like, I don't think that Trump sees color. I think that Trump sees people that can't do anything for him.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And if you can do something for him,
well, I mean, it's the same.
Then he
with,
likes you.
Well, it's the same with like his daughter. It's like, well, I made her, and she's useful to me because she's pretty.
Yeah.
So she's viable as
and
a mate.
she's got a son-in-law. He can do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's very much
it's all transactional. There is no like he doesn't understand emotion. I think that at the heart of it is what the problem is. He doesn't get empathy.
Yeah.
He's a sociopath.
We have to get to the root of these issues, right? Because I was thinking about like why do people only have $140 in their bank account at any given moment? Like, I'm not asking for us to give everybody a mansion, but it's like everybody has to, at the minimum, have the opportunity for.
You would think as well that there would be like a base level of living that as somebody in what is the wealthiest country in the world, or at least one of.
Well, especially when you consider that the money just moves around anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
it's
that money's going to go
imaginary.
That money's going to go back. It is imaginary.
It's kind of just a concept that we made up, and
it's going to go back into the economy anyway. It's like, well, I'm not just going to give this person $10,000. Like, what do you think they're going to go do with it, fucko? They're going to go buy a car, which creates all kinds of jobs for the salesman, to the person that writes up the order, to the bank that approves the loan, to the manufacturer of the vehicle. Like
that's how capitalism works.
Yeah, people buy shit.
We told them
to
trickle down. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, and that's I think where we've gotten into a pickle is that there are like a couple people, like handful of people, who are hoarding, who have figured out how to get it all to trickle back to them,
right?
And are hoarding it, and it's not going back into the economy. It's not going back into the areas that need it.
Right.
It's staying in an account offshore. Jeff, like again, man, like Jeff Bezos. How much did his wife get for leaving him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude,
$90 million a month or something.
I would suck Jeff Bezos off for $90-something million. Are you kidding me? I ain't gay, but like 96 million is 96 fucking million. I could pay for therapy to get over that shit real quick.
Yeah, it is really bizarre. That level of money is just like...
I'm telling you, like, I mean, man, you could take the last 6 zeros out of Jeff Bezos' bank account, let's say 9, and pay for schooling for everybody in the country. He wouldn't notice it's gone.
Yeah.
He's got more money than you could spend in like 137 lifetimes.
Yeah, but
at that point, it's just silly. It's just it's excessive to the point where it's not even like, yeah, you earned it, you made it, you live in the American dream. It's like, that's gross.
Yeah, it is gross, and I do agree with you. But as an entrepreneur myself, like, I do believe that you should be able to use and spend the money that you earn how you choose to. Sure. But I do think that there should be some stipulations within our laws as a society that say, like, look, if you make X amount of money, like,
I don't see why there has to be a bracket of difference in taxes. You know what I mean? Like, if I pay 7%, Jeff Bezos should pay 7%.
Yeah.
Everybody should pay the same.
Oh, you mean fair tax?
Yeah. I don't see what the difference is.
Which just disappeared from political conversations.
Right. Like, I mean, it was. He's like, Joe Biden's going to raise your taxes. He's like, no, he's going to raise corporation taxes.
He did mention, raising taxes for people that make $400,000 a year or more.
Okay.
I do think that I think that that's a little low. I think that it should be like.
But I mean, like, also,
I think that the real people that have the problem are the people like Bezos. It's like, look, man, if you make $500,000 a year and you're a surgeon, make your money.
Yeah.
But if you make $350 million, if you're like a fucking Walton kid, and you don't do anything, like you didn't even do anything except be born a Walton kid, and you earn $350 million a year. Mm-hmm. we got to figure out a way for you to help contribute to society for the people who are less fortunate, who weren't born Walton children.
Your family is raised up on.
Yeah, God forbid you give your fucking people decent health care. By the way, you have to work there a year before you even get it as an option.
Yeah.
And then, I can't speak to whatever their plan is, but I can't imagine that it's like, take care of your fucking workers, dude. Like, all of these great...
Well, but now you're just... I mean, hey, man, you just work at Walmart. Who are you to fucking... Like, I have to work.
Yeah, well, I mean...
40 hours a week.
If anything, I hope
to get my benefits.
I hope that this pandemic has shined a light on, the fact that these people are really important.
The essential workers?
Yeah.
Like your people at Walmart, the people that work at McDonald's. It's like
the people that drive the trucks.
Listen, man, I'm sure that like you probably make a decent amount of money doing YouTube, but like the people working at McDonald's having to get spit on and shit.
Oh yeah.
Probably deserve to have about the same level of comfort as you.
Probably. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I know because I've done both.
Yeah, exactly.
There are people who haven't done both. Like Trump is an example of somebody who's like never really had to work.
Fuck, man, he didn't even have to write his own SAT scores.
Yeah, like he never was. And I told you, I think that I said this a few months ago, where I made a decision where if you've never had to worry about whether or not you could pay the rent, I don't care what your political opinions are.
Fair.
Trump's an example of that.
Yeah.
You think that motherfucker has
any idea what
in
politics
his
are?
life had a moment of...
Do you think he knows what an APR is?
Had a moment of panic?
You think he's ever had he's probably had like a can of Goya beans since they backed him, but like, you know what I mean? Like he's never had beanie weenies for dinner. Like he's never had to keep the oven door open.
He's never had to shop at the Dollar Tree for food.
Right. You know what I mean? Like he's never and so.
Well, those are the kind of people I think that we should be.
And it's amazing because like typically like who gets presidency is someone like, yeah, I'd like to have a beer with them. Somebody that's like been through the trenches, somebody like...
I don't know if that's true though. I mean, I don't think that's true. Like Obama went to like Harvard, right? Like
right.
It's not
I'm not saying that it started with Trump. I'm saying that like over a period of time, like it's kind of shifted from where like the idea of like a president was somebody who was like...
a man of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not really the case anymore. And they're presenting themselves as that, but like...
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, Washington...
God, I do love seeing like Obama shit-eating grim while he's like jet skiing in Hawaii and shit. He's like, fuck you, fuck all of you, I'm out, bitch.
Washington didn't even want to be president, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of shit we need.
That's the kind of person we need.
Hey, we've noticed... That's
He's
why
the hero
I think,
we need.
I think
Donald Trump is the hero we deserve.
Yes, but not the one we need. Yeah. Exactly.
He's the Batman.
I think I think that's why I think that there should be like a playoff system. If you can have playoff systems,
if you can score a 3-pointer, Donald Trump.
No. Listen, if you can get people to watch all of these fucking sports playoffs, then you can certainly fucking get people to participate in voting playoffs, wherein people are elected from state and then by region, and then regardless of what letter is behind their name, the final two are up for the election.
I mean, I like that.
And then, by the way, when one of them wins, the one that lost is the VP.
That would be an interesting...
seems really easy.
That does seem like it would be... it's too easy. It's too complicated.
There's not enough...
Anyway.
Well, it's too easy. There's not enough variable for tainting that. I guess you could argue that there's more variable for tainting it, but...
Because there's more taints. Am I right? Up top. Or not.
So I feel like you're not listening to what I'm saying.
No, I am.
Playoffs. That's how it should be done. You elect somebody from Florida. We send Ron DeSantis out as our person that we want.
DeSantis. God damn it.
He's so out of control, dude.
He's such a
I'm telling you, wait until Florida votes Democrat and then DeSantis gets up and says, well, here's the thing.
Yeah. There are a lot of illegals.
We don't trust the mail. Did you see about that United States Postal Service worker that was part of QAnon?
Yeah,
that held like 10,000 pieces of mail.
Yep.
Whoa.
Republican.
Yeah, but definitely not a terrorist.
No, couldn't be.
Just a crazy guy. No big deal.
Not at all.
Not an infringement on anybody's
of course not.
Or
of course not.
Abilities to vote.
That's a true patriot.
Well, it's like the people
Peaceful
that are
protester.
setting up like the fake voting booths and stuff.
It is fun watching a Donald Trump rally and watching the masks slowly come off. Like you can count them it's like every 10 minutes there's another one that's like wearing it like an earring. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh man, I wonder how many people are getting COVID.
Yeah, probably a lot of them. Oh, I'm negative. Did I tell you? I got a test.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
I went and took a COVID test, and I'm negative. So that's good news. I am confident that I had it in January.
It's a hard knock life.
What are you going to do?
For Chaz, it's a hard knock life.
I mean, a million people are going to die from this thing.
It's gonna feed out.
It's very weird that they continue to reference the swine flu, right? Because that only killed like 12,000 people.
Yeah, or even like
even if half of these COVID deaths were lies, that's still 100,000 people. Dude, that's still 10 times the amount of people that died in the swine flu.
I gotta admit, it is fun watching a bunch of like Republican senators, like Joni Ernst was squirming real bad the other day. It was during another one of those debates. It's like where Lindsey Graham is like freaking out because his opponent is getting so much money. Right. And his campaign is like starting to get in trouble and is like actually possibly a toss up. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How?
He had like a 6% chance to lose two weeks ago.
And now it's like the gap's widening and he's like, what the fuck happened? He was even like, during the Senate confirmation hearing of the lady, like he was like, "Oh, I mean, there's a lot of money in politics. Like, I don't fucking know where my opponent's getting, but I don't take any money from them. But like, it's like, what the fuck, Lindsey Graham? You are getting scared, boy."
Well, it's this idea that like, well, he couldn't possibly have gotten that from people who actually support him.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
It's impossible. It's the same. It's that line of, I'm always right, and if I'm wrong, that means something's wrong.
Yeah, but it was like Joni Ernst, I think, like the question to the one person running was like about soy or something, because it's like their state is like a very heavy like farming state.
Yeah.
So they're asking about like something to do with like soy, and then they turned to Joni Ernst and were asking her about corn, and she started like throwing out like Republican talking points, and they were like, "Do you know how much a bushel of corn costs?"
Right.
Because that's kind of important for your state.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I just, like the question, no. The question was about, and she just like grinned that fucking toothy grin that she always does.
I did think it was funny that the one freedom of the First Amendment that she forgot was the right to protest.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was pretty telling, I think, from that side.
Oh, yeah, the lady, the Supreme Court
nominee, yeah.
And it was funny, like, I don't know, and I do think it's interesting, like, I do think it's a very, like, the Republicans right now are playing with fire, because, like, I forget who it was, but there's a Democratic senator who was like, we can't really do anything about this, but just remember, when someone else is in power, it's going to be because we can, not because we should.
Right.
And you're not going to be able to say anything about it.
Yeah.
Because you've killed any opportunity for you to have a conscience in that matter when it comes up next time. So remember that.
It is really disgusting that they're going to ultimately swear that woman in like the weekend before the election.
Even though like
it's going to be like
76% of the country don't want them to.
It's going to be like the Friday before.
It is great watching like them like listen to their words in like 2016 with Merrick Garland, and then now. And then like even at the Trump town hall, they were like, what do you say when all of the Republicans were saying the opposite 9 months out, even though the election is currently underway and you are doing this? And he's like, well, the president is elected for 4 years, not for 3. So.
Right. Nothing is funnier than him pretending he doesn't know who QAnon is.
Oh, it's the best.
That's been the funniest thing.
Or like the Proud Boys.
Of the year.
That was great.
The QAnon question is the funniest thing of the year. The fact that he doesn't even have the balls to be like, well, maybe they've got some ideas. I don't even... QAnon? QAnon? I've not heard of this. It's a movie, you say? What is this?
Is that like Star Trek? The Wrath of Khanan?
Hilarious.
Yeah.
That's like literally if you said to me like, yeah, so what's Man Shorts about? And I was like... I'm not familiar.
Yeah, not familiar.
I think I've heard the name, but I'm not.
One in or two?
Don't know anything about them. Never.
I know of Female Shirt.
Yeah. That's very
who do you want me to like? I did really love in the SNL like opening, the cold open for the first debate, and it's like, who do you want? Like, I have no idea how to even signal them, and he does the okay symbols on his hands. I was like, oh god, it's so good.
What horror movies have you been watching?
I just watched or started watching. I ran out of time before getting here, but Scanners, the one with the really the massive head explosion one that everyone knows about.
I love Scanners.
I haven't seen that in like in a decade, so I started watching that one again. I recently watched I forget, because it's such one of those movies with like The Thing. And it's like
John Carpenter's The Thing?
No, which is great.
Yeah.
I can only find the remake that's like the prequel to it. I can't find the original movie on any of the streaming services that I have, which is frustrating.
Yeah, I feel like some of those like real classic ones probably like have exclusive deals
on like Shudder
to networks,
or
or like they don't have any, and so that means you have to buy a copy.
Yeah. I forget the name of it, but basically the idea is like this, like there's a broken family, like the mom and the dad are divorcing or whatever, and she's like trying to get ready, like she's clearly trying to get back together with the dad. If I'm not mistaken, it's the girl who was like in Legally Blonde or some shit.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, I think Reese Witherspoon blows her brains out in the first like 5 minutes of the movie.
What movie is this?
The one I'm trying to talk about, like that I can't remember the name of.
Oh.
But it's like the girl is, his new girl is, was in a cult, and like she's the only one that survived, and so then they go off to like a cabin. It's like The Lodge, I think it's called. Look up The Lodge.
Oh yeah.
And like the kids play a prank on her, like hiding her medication and stuff, and so then she goes nuts and thinks they're in like fucking purgatory.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. What about you?
Haven't watched many. I want to watch like I want to see what slashers are available on. The problem is like a lot of these like Hulu and Netflix push a lot of their own shit.
Of course, yeah.
So it's like
I want
a
the good
Hulu
shit.
original, The Pumpkin Man, and it's like
HBO Max has got some good thrillers on it.
I need
or
like
slashers on it.
I need like old school fucking 80s,
like Child's Play,
80s and 90s. Yeah, I was considering watching the remake to that. But I'll try to watch some more zombie movies. I think next week is going to be our last podcast before Halloween. Nope, not true. Nope. Yep, that is true.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because that'll be Thursday.
Good timing.
And then after that, it's the election. And then the real horror movie. The horror movie comes to life.
And then you'll come here for the gags. Oh, we didn't talk about D&D.
Oh, yeah. Well, we said we were going to, and then we totally didn't.
Well, there was a guy that left a comment. I was like, when are we getting back to the D&D?
Next week.
And when I read the comments.
We'll talk about D&D like you've never seen.
Like, so hard.
You won't even, you'll be like,
you'll be
I
like,
am sick and tired of this
God,
D&D talk.
These two clowns.
That's all we'll talk about. So
it's going to be strong. It's going to be bigly. It's going to be strong and powerful.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Like how you should fuck that
banana.
down. Strong and powerful.
And then send emails to nobigbanana@gmail.com.
If you want to hear us talk about D&D,
I have so many fucking email accounts.
Or if like you're on like Apple Podcasts or whatever,
it's a problem.
Just fucking fuck that 5-star.
Yeah, give us a good rating.
Yeah.
On that thing. I mean,
I don't know.
You think we deserve it?
We don't. That's okay though.